Conference Player of the Week, averaging 15 a game. And UTC takes the opening tip. Smith from three, and the rebound by Demetrius Underwood. College of Charleston comes in at 3-2 on the year. They are 0-1 on the road. Here's a three from the corner by Burham. And the rebound taken off the floor by David Jean-Baptiste. Smith working against Burnham. And DJB with a rebound. Chattanooga with a chance to set it up. Jean-Baptiste gets a nice round of applause from the home crowd. Three to shoot. Got it. He's number 2 in three-pointers made in Chattanooga history. But here comes the answer on the opposite end as Phi was all alone. And the freshman ties things up at 2.
Breakdown defensively that time for Chattanooga. DeSosa wanted the ball in that last possession, just couldn't get in position.
DeSosa tries to set the screen for Smith. He's got it now. Silvio DeSosa turns the fadeaway. 4-2, Chattanooga in front. DeSosa, a former 5-star when he was in high school at IMG, started his career at Kansas before transferring to Chattanooga. The spinner in the lane by Burnham with the left hand. And game tied at 4. Nine to shoot for Banks. Out to Caldwell. The three rims out. Rebound by DeSosa. Look at the big man work underneath.
Just working hard on the glass and made that happen.
You can see why he was a 5-star recruit. As Meeks, a little out of control, called with a charge. He'll turn it over.
Banks with a great job defensively that time, Chris, of getting in position, which drew the charge and getting his feet set.
College of Charleston leads the all-time series between these two, 19 victories to 12. This is, as Craig mentioned, the first meeting between the two programs since 2013. College of Charleston won it that day in this building, 71-68. That was the final year that College of Charleston was in the Southern Conference. DeSosa had it slapped away by Raekwon Horton.
One step too many that time, Chris. Should have gone straight up the first time, and that allowed the defense to collapse on him.
College of Charleston has won 6 of the last 7 against Chattanooga. 5 to shoot. Banks has it stolen away. Meeks. And John Meeks, double-figure scoring for him in 10 of the last 11. And Meeks has tied the game at 6. DeSosa lost it going up, turn it over. Cougars ball.
Out of bounds, it's Cougars basketball. Checking in for Chattanooga, 21, Josh Ayedi.
DeSosa may be forcing things just a little bit, Chris, early on.
In for the College of Charleston, 35, Babacar 5.
Chattanooga with a 17-game non-conference winning streak on the line, a 16-game home non-conference winning streak. 5 from 3, off the mark, and the rebound by Horton. Jumper from Tucker, and Baptiste finally clears it out from underneath for Chattanooga. Baptiste, step back three, rims out.
Wow.
Tucker driving against Smith. Back out up top. Horton in the paint. The feed going baseline is 5.
Boy, great job that time, Chris, by the Mocs, collapsing on defense and really shutting things off inside.
6-6 our score between Chattanooga and the College of Charleston. Ed Grant, who was the head coach of the College of Charleston, he gets a job in the ACC at Boston College. So Pat Kelsey comes over to take over the Cougars program, shows up at Charleston and finds out he only has 2 players. Everybody else had transferred. So he and his staff, they have basically 10 weeks to find 10 players, Craig.
My goodness. Well, they've done a good job so far.
John Meeks called with a foul. That sends David Jean Baptiste to the free throw line. Well, they pulled in players. John Meeks came from Bucknell. They brought in Demetrius Underwood. He was at Texas Dallas, which is a Division III school. They go out, they sign a couple of freshmen. Brought in a couple of junior college guys to round out this roster. And Famir Ali with his lob underneath to Charles Lampton. Foul called on A.J. Caldwell. Famir Ali, he came from Radford. Charles Lampton, he came from Dawson Community College in Glendive, Montana.
That's a bit of a haul to Charleston.
Bet he's enjoying the weather.
Yes.
Lampton at the free throw line. He is a native of Cameroon. Came to the U.S. when he was just 15 years old. Grew up in Roanoke, Texas. And he hits 1 out of 2 from the free throw line, and it's a 1-point game. Charleston has played a really difficult schedule. Last 2 games for them have been against North Carolina and Oklahoma State as Baptiste all alone underneath.
Boy, what a great play there. Josh Ayeni set the pick that allowed Baptiste to score easily.
Ali with a no-look pass, and Lampton wasn't ready for it. Here's Underwood working against Caldwell, blocked by Caldwell, and out of bounds.
Entering the game for the College of Charleston, number 5, Brendan Tucker. Checking in for the Mocs, 35, Grant Ledford.
Great play by A.J. Caldwell. Left his feet at just the right time to get that block.
Caldwell, a guy throughout his career at Chattanooga, always able to come up with blocks. You don't expect a guy that's only 6'4" in this game to be able to block shots the way he does. The floater by Tucker, and Ledford rebounds for Chattanooga. Mocs in front by 3. They can add to it. Malachi Smith drives against Tucker, and he has his shot blocked. Brendan Tucker, one of the few holdovers on this College of Charleston roster. He started 12 of 19 games last year for the Cougars.
In perfect position that time to make the block easily.
Banks, short. Smith on Baptiste. Tucker banks it off the glass.
Great defense, but that's just a great effort offensively. Not much you can do about that.
Mentioned that tough schedule at the College of Charleston. Lost at Oklahoma State last time out, 96-66. We talked earlier about the tempo in which they play. Ayeni with a turnaround.
Josh Ayeni. Fans, the Mocs reach 12 points first, and that means in today's lucky section,
Looked like Ledford got a piece of that one.
Coupons for free biscuit from Jack's.
Active hands today for both sides. We've seen a couple of blocks. Chattanooga going to slow this tempo down a little bit. College of Charleston, they like to play fast. They average 86 possessions per game. Here's Ianni. Step back against Lampton. Taken off the floor by Phi. Ali finds an opening. Foul will go on Chattanooga. Josh Ianni picks up his first. You see Ianni.
Ianni had one arm locked down, and he's called for the foul.
Second. Entering the game for the Cougars, number 11, Demetrius Underwood. 33, Osinachi Smart, and number 25.
We'll see a few substitutions for both sides.
In for Chattanooga, 22, Silvio De Sosa, and 23, Avery Diggs.
Ali. Count the basket, and he draws the foul. Chance to go to a line with the two-point play. Ledford with the foul. And an opportunity now for Ali to tie the game at 12.
Count the basket to Famir Ali. Ali at the line shooting one.
Famir Ali played at Radford. Radford was in the Big South, so Pat Kelsey very familiar with Ali. Ali at Radford, Kelsey, the coach at Winthrop. So Ali, one of those guys that Kelsey was able to bring over to the College of Charleston when he got this job. De Sosa in the paint, the big man with a left hand. And the 6'8" graduate transfer from Kansas. 6 points for him in the early going. Three ball from the corner by Burham. The tip in, no. Rebounded again by Smart. Out to Burnham, he'll try it again. Chattanooga able to save the rebound. Banks was able to get there before it went out of bounds.
Big time hustle there inside by Chattanooga.
De Sosa trying to show off the range. O.C. Smart climbs the ladder for the rebound. Ali went right around Diggs. Comes Burnham. And Diggs with the rebound. Diggs and Sosa, that's a pretty big lineup on the floor for Chattanooga. Sosa at 6'8", Diggs. 14-12 lead for UTC's. Charleston has the ball. Tucker from three, missed everything. And Sosa had the rebound. Sosa wanted the baseball pass down the floor. He had David Jean-Baptiste. Smith. Underwood rebounds. Underwood, another one of those guys at 6'4" that can play a lot bigger than what his frame suggests. Here he is now in the paint. Banks it in.
2 points, Demetrius Underwood.
First bucket for Underwood. Tied at 14 now, under 10 to go in the first half.
Underwood, one of the guys Coach Lamont Paris talked to me about before the game that he felt was a real key in their offense.
Baptiste. And Baptiste will turn it over on the travel.
Traveling call to the box. It's Cougars basketball. Entering the game for the College of Charleston, number 2, Rain Smith, at 12, John Meeks.
That was a look at Chattanooga's Lamont Paris in his 5th season as a head coach. He's now 65 and 64. 21st head coach all time in Mocs basketball history. His team coming off an impressive showing against a Division III opponent in Covenant on Tuesday. Mocs won 100-39 that day. They put 6 in double figures. Another block.
Boy, DeSosa is so active on both ends of the floor.
Foul on Babacar, 5. Third team foul here on College of Charleston. Chattanooga with 3 as well. Baptiste, the lob for DeSosa. And DeSosa will draw the foul. Phi again picks up another foul. This is number 2 on Phi.
Boy, Baptiste went up on the oop and I guess just didn't have it quite high enough. DeSosa undercut just a bit and he'll go to the line.
Silvio DeSosa, just a 38% free throw shooter. He hits his first.
In 25, Ben Burnham. In for the Mocs, number 5, Darius Banks. DeSosa to attempt his second shot.
DeSosa, a guy that has played in a Final Four. He was part of that Kansas team his freshman year that reached the Final Four. He's got 8. Chattanooga back in front by 2. Underwood gets around Smith and banks it in.
2 points, Demetrius Underwood.
Good strong move to the bucket that time by Demetrius Underwood.
College of Charleston has not led in this game. And DeSosa to Baptiste. Another 3-pointer from David Jean Baptiste.
That's another power.
Baptiste averaging 15 a game. He is 11th all-time in scoring at Chattanooga, working his way towards the top 10 before the end of this season. Underwood on the pass to Smith, and Rain Smith, the cutter down the baseline.
Spectacular pass and a beautiful floater by Rain Smith.
Smith off the screen from Banks. And the rebound by Horton. Underwood again on Malachi Smith. Tries to push his way inside, gets cut off. Here's Horton with a 3. Smith off balance. And Meeks with a rebound. Meeks has 4, averaging 16 a game. And the Cougars down by a point. Will inbound. Smith, open look, off the back of the rim, and we'll have a whistle. And the foul will go on Chattanooga's A.J. Caldwell, his second.
His second, team 4. Entering the game for the Cougars, 34, Charles Lampton, and 0, Famir Ali. Checking in for Chattanooga, 35, Grant Ledford. Also 2, Joel Walker. And 23, Avery Tiggs.
Ali. Short, rebound off the floor. Loose. Scooped up by Baptiste, and he flips it over to Diggs.
Crowd appreciates that hustle.
7 minutes left to go. First half, 1-point game between Chattanooga and the College of Charleston. Ledford. And and sails the air ball.
Out of bounds, it's Cougars basketball.
Smith, the floater, a little too much. Rebound by Jamal Walker. Walker, a Chattanooga native, seeing the floor for the first time for the Mocs this year. Banks blocked. Lampton got a hand on it.
Boy, Lampton is long and explosive.
6'11" is Charles Lampton. Off balance from Famir Ali, and College of Charleston has their first lead of the game, 20-19. Under 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Chattanooga approaching 2 minutes without a bucket. Diggs working against the 6'11" Lampton. Spins away, found open space.
Pretty move there by Diggs, asserted himself, got baseline on Lampton.
Burnham against the double team. The miss, tipped the rebound out, and Jamal Walker has it again.
Boy, nice defense that time by Diggs. Didn't leave his feet and ended up with the ball anyway.
Ledford's three is good. Grant Ledford coming off an 18-point performance in the Mocs win against Covenant. A guy that missed most of last year with an injury. Averaging 6 a game, knocks down 3. There's the lob and the miss. Trying to lob it up for the 6'11" Lampton. Chattanooga has it, quickly back the other way. Walker draws a foul, he'll go to the line. It goes against Rain Smith.
Well, let's credit David Jean-Baptiste. Aggressive pushing of the basketball, got it to Walker, and their defense was unable to get the block, but they committed the foul.
At the line for Chattanooga, number 2, Jamal Walker.
Charleston will bring in 5 substitutions. It's like a line change in hockey when they all run in. 5 more guys are going to run off. When he was at Winthrop, Pat Kelsey would use an 11-12 man rotation because they like to play so fast that he wanted to keep fresh legs on the floor. Jamal Walker makes it a 6-point game, 26-20. Chattanooga scored 6 unanswered, 7 unanswered. Off balance with a left hand, Nick Farrar able to get it to bank in. Farrar, another transfer at Charleston. He spent his freshman year at NC State. The steal. Banks had it taken away. Loose on the floor. Charleston has it. Here comes Brendan Tucker. Tucker over Smith. A little too high off the glass. And Ayeni takes a spill as he goes after the rebound. Demetrius Underwood called with a foul. 16 foul on the College of Charleston. Breaking 2%. Chattanooga with the ball with just under 4 left. Glass and lays it up and in. Ledford has 5 and the UTC lead back at 6.
Coach Paris said Ledford's gift is the ability to score the basketball, and he's done that so far today.
Ledford missed a good portion of last year with an injury for Chattanooga. Here's Meeks. Meeks working against Banks. Tucker inside, loose ball. Ayeni comes away with a steal. Well, if you're Pat Kelsey in the College of Charleston, Craig, I think you got to find a way to get John Meeks going. The guy averaging double figures.
He has had trouble. Chattanooga's done a nice job. He's one of the three that they really wanted to try and neutralize, and so far they've done a nice job on him. Underwood and Smith, the other two they're concerned about.
Meeks, 6'6", senior, transfer from Bucknell. Scored 22 in their 30-point loss to Oklahoma State in their last game, but he has scored 22 or more in 6 of the last 10 games he's played in. Here he is. Looks to pass and does out to Underwood. 10 on the shot clock. Underwood gets around Banks and called with a charge.
Kind of hooked him going around there that time.
Cougars foul on 33.
Both these teams physical, and you look in here,
First, team 7.
Chattanooga's got, it was a hook going around that they called offensively. Both these teams very physical offensively, especially inside.
O.C. Smart called with a foul. That's his first personal. DeSosa draws a foul going up. That may be on Smart too.
I mean, Chris, what do you do there? They fronted him, did a great job, and they had somebody behind him, and he still got to the bucket.
Team 8. Entering the game for Chattanooga, 22, Silvio DeSosa. Also at the line.
DeSosa averaging 10 a game for the Mocs.
Shooting 2.
He's got 8 points. Perfect 2 of 2 today. Well, he was perfect. Now he's 2 of 3 from the free throw line.
DeSosa with the second shoot.
DeSosa has 9. The Chattanooga lead is at 7. And this foul will go against DeSosa on the opposite end.
Got him up in the air and capitalized that time. They just wanted to go right at him. He committed early and drew the foul.
Cougars, number 4,
Raekwon Orton, his first trip to the free throw line this season, the freshman out of South Carolina. He did not score
into the game for the College of
against
Charleston,
Oklahoma State. As a matter of fact, Orton has yet to score this season. He is 0 of 12 shooting. First trip to the free throw line, though. And he remains scoreless on the season. 7-point lead for Chattanooga with 2 minutes left, first half. .10 on the shot clock for Walker. And the tip back in by Banks.
That's just outstanding offensive aggressiveness on the boards.
Rain Smith connects with a deep 3. Smith has 5, 31-25. DeSosa and Baptiste both with 9 to pace Chattanooga. And Baptiste goes underneath to DeSosa. And DeSosa in double figures now. He's got 11. College of Charleston led by Smith and Ali. Currently Chattanooga +3 in the rebounding battle. Mocs have 19. College of Charleston has 16. Minute left to go.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining in the half.
Smith and DeSosa rebounds.
Boy, really good look for Smith that time and a solid rebound by DeSosa.
Silvio DeSosa, he is easy to pick up on the floor because he's wearing these sneakers that, I mean, that is straight out of the box of 64 Crayolas.
That's the orange sherbet model, I think.
Ah. Shot clock violation. Mox will turn it over. They just ran out of time.
Solid defensive stand that time by the College of Charleston. Pat Kelsey not happy with the officiating there.
Final few seconds of the first half. Ali lost it, tapped away by David Jean-Baptiste. Malachi Smith will inbound with 12 seconds left to go. Baptiste with 4, the miss. Banks draws the foul, he'll go to the line.
Mox had 2 good chances there.
Can't come away with the bucket, but Banks with an opportunity to make it a 10-point game here at the half.
Entering the game for the Cougars, number 33, Hosanachi Smart. Banks to attempt his second shot.
Ten-point lead for Chattanooga, 0.7 of a second left. And a lane violation now.
No basket.
So the basket doesn't count, so it makes it a 9-point game again.
Charleston, number 12, John Banks.
So 34-25. And College of Charleston, they'll just try to send it down the floor as far as they can. Catch and shoot from Ali with a lob to Sosa and the right-handed jam.
That's a great way to start the second half.
I don't know that you can ride it up any better than this for Chattanooga. Watch the lob from Baptiste. The one-handed throwdown by DeSosa, and then the College of Charleston throws it away. And Mox get it back up by 11. Just over 30 seconds gone in the third quarter. Banks.
There's the three-point shooting.
Banks hits the three-pointer. The Chattanooga lead now at 14. And there's a slam on the opposite end. That was Babacar Faye at 6'8". With a two-handed flush, he's got 4. A bit of a raucous start to this second half. Banks lost the handle.
Shot clock expiration. It's
And the shot clock expires. And College of Charleston will get it back. Good defense by the Cougars. Here's Underwood. Gets around the screen. Now runs into Sosa. Rain Smith with an open look. Got it.
Beautiful stroke that time by Rain Smith.
Rain Smith has been the back-to-back CAA Rookie of the Week. Had 15 last time out against Oklahoma. He's got 8. Cougars have closed to within 9. DeSosa again. This time it's the left hand with the dunk.
Once he got position there, that entry pass was perfect.
Underwood Trying to work around Banks. We've got a whistle and the foul called on Darius Banks.
Number 5, Darius Banks, his first, team first.
Another dunk by DeSosa.
Boy, when he gets positioned like that and a great pass, it's just unstoppable.
33, Osinachi Smart, and number 5, Brendan Tucker.
Meeks against Banks. Turns around. A little too hard off the glass and out of bounds. Chattanooga ball.
Boy, tough collision there. My goodness.
It was Meeks that took the tough spill. John Meeks, 6'6" senior out of Burlington, North Carolina. Averaging 16 a game to lead the College of Charleston. Chattanooga's held him to just 4 points so far. Smith into the paint. The right hand. Good. Tipped out of bounds by Caldwell. Caldwell turned into a defensive back.
Yes.
Had to deflect it away from Babacar Fye. Ali, nice pass underneath to Fye, who finishes.
Boy, that was a beautiful executed play that time.
Babacar Fye, he prepped at the NBA Academy in Africa. So they believe he's got the ability. As you see Banks penetrate a little too hard, throws it over the rim.
I think Fye got a piece of that one.
Tucker will slow it down. Meeks with the open look. And DeSosa comes away with a rebound. This will be Chattanooga ball. Smart called with a foul underneath.
He is just tough to deal with, especially when he gets that low position on the blocks. He has earned a break here.
And Fye will come out. DeSosa out for Chattanooga. Ianni went up with both hands, had it taken away.
Boy, it is just tough sledding down low.
Tucker around Ianni with a dipsy-do, and Ianni able to block out and rebound underneath. Banks got it.
Darius Banks for 3.
Boy, great
Darius
flow to that
Banks.
stroke.
Banks has 9, and there's a turnover. Banks tipped it away. Baptiste tried to go behind the back. Out of bounds. Chattanooga will keep it. Able to get looks.
They've done a great job denying him the basketball, and when he does get it, he gets it in uncomfortable positions on the court.
Baptiste lost the handle. He'll get it back. Mocs have gotten a little bit of a burst from Darius Banks. Banks has 9. And here's Smith. And we'll have a travel call on Malachi Smith.
Chattanooga, it's Cougars basketball.
Underwood lost his dribble. 9 to shoot for Meeks. The left-handed 3 off the mark, and the rebound goes out of bounds.
Chris, earlier in that possession, too, Meeks wanted to go baseline. They cut him off. They have just done a great job of making him work really, really hard when he has the basketball.
14-point advantage for Chattanooga with 14 and a half to go. It's a 12-7 advantage for Chattanooga in the second half. Baptiste has it taken away by Underwood. Underwood lays it up and in. Demetrius Underwood, he transferred to the College of Charleston from Texas, Dallas. That's a Division III school, but he was a D3 All-American. He averaged 19, 9, and 7 last year, and there's a rejection by Lampton. Jean-Baptiste. Underwood against Oklahoma State, 5 steals against the Cowboys. Smith got it.
He's up to 10 now.
Smith has hit 3 3-pointers, and he comes away with a loose ball after it was tapped away by Meeks. And another foul called on Chattanooga. Darius Banks picks up his second personal foul. Well, Rain Smith had hit 9 threes in his last 2 games. He's hit 3 more. So that gives him 12 in his last 3 games. Here he is again. Wow.
Bam.
Talk about the hot hand right now.
And he was well guarded.
Smith is from Australia, averaging 12 points a game, a 6'2" freshman. Baptiste off the mark, rebounded by Farrar. Farrar from 3. And the rebound up in the air, taken now by Banks off the bounce. Chattanooga led by as many as 14. There's another Chattanooga turnover. 6-point lead for the Mocs. An opportunity to make it a 1-possession game for the College of Charleston. Farrar against Banks, over to Sosa, and scores. 46-42. It's a 4-point game with 12 minutes left.
Charleston bench is up and excited about this one.
Heck of a run by the Cougars. Mocs have gone about 4 minutes without a bucket. And Baptiste throws it away. Another turnover for Chattanooga. It's been since Chattanooga's made a basket.
Yeah, the wheels have kind of come off offensively for Chattanooga. They've got to get a stop here on defense and find out how to restart things.
Meeks off the screen, good.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Cougars.
Meeks has been very quiet in this game, and we've got a 1-point game here, 46-45. Still plenty of time left to play. Smith, and they may call him with a charge, and they will. It was Famir Ali that took the spill.
Solid defense, and the College of Charleston's bench is taking over this game a little bit in terms of noise.
.46-45, chance for Charleston to take the lead. Cougars have not led since the 5:38 mark of the first half. They led by 1 point. The fadeaway, and there's the lead for the College of Charleston. Famir Ali has 7, and the Cougars are in front by 1. They've come back from being down by 14. It's a 15-0 run for the Cougars and a 1-point lead. Jamal Walker's layup is missed, and here they come again. Barnum, the miss, the tap back, not there. Farrar kicks it out, Meeks. Ali.
Boy, great patience that time by the Cougars and solid execution.
Over 4 minutes since the last time Chattanooga has scored from Mir Ali. He's in double figures now with 10. DeSosa away from the block, guarded by the 6'11 Lampton. Caldwell. Rebound, tipped out of bounds.
Out of bounds. It's box
Chattanooga will keep it.
Entering the game for the Cougars. 34.
And this is where, Chris, that rotation, all that depth really pays off for the College of Charleston. They are just energized on both sides of the basketball.
It's an 18-0 run for the College of Charleston. They trailed Chattanooga 46-32 with 15:28 left. And they now lead it 50-46 with 9:33 to go. Chattanooga working on 6 minutes without a basket. Underwood, a nice job there on that inbounds pass, trying to deny it. Smith. Called with a charge, turn it over.
Boy, when it rains, it pours. Goodness. Maybe a little acting, but it counts either way.
That's the second charging foul on Smith, his second personal. Mocs have committed 5 team fouls now. We've still got 9 minutes plus left to go. Meeks with the left hand. A 20-0 run by the College of Charleston. Meeks now has 9. And the lead goes to 6 for the Cougars. And a blocking foul called against the College of Charleston and Rain Smith.
Cougars foul, number 2, Rain Smith. His second, team second.
Baptiste trying to go baseline. Smith blocks him and is called for the foul.
Baptiste, catch and shoot, missed everything. Meeks rebounds underneath. Aiming for Rain down the floor and threw it away.
And that's about the only mistake they've made in the last 10 minutes, Chris.
A 20-0 run by the College of Charleston. And Chattanooga has gone about 7 minutes now without a basket. Baptiste got it. That breaks the streak for Chattanooga. The scoreless streak gets snapped, and the lead for the College of Charleston goes back to 3. Meeks gets around Smith, battling with Diggs. They'll call the foul on Avery Diggs. Diggs got popped in the jaw.
Boy, what a strong move by Meeks that time. He just would not be denied. Got by David Jean-Baptiste and went up strong against Avery Diggs. Look right here, just going up strong.
Diggs is going to come out. He'll get some attention from the trainers over on the Chattanooga bench. I believe he's got a busted lip. And they're going to send Meeks over to the College of Charleston bench. He's got a little blood on the elbow, so he'll get doctored.
It's full contact this afternoon for sure.
Chattanooga will take the opportunity and send in the sub for Diggs. It's Josh Ianni. There you see Meeks getting the attention from the trainers. Meeks averaging 16 a game. Chattanooga did a good job on him in the first half, held him to just 4. but he's got 5 in this second half, including a big three-pointer that was part of that 20-0 run that the College of Charleston had.
Charleston, number 12, John Meeks. Shooting 2.
Meeks on the year, 84% from the line. First trip to the line today for John Meeks. Meeks hits 1 of 2. The lead goes to 4. And Meeks has hit double figures now. He's got 10. And they will grab him a couple of minutes of rest. And looks like he'll get a little more attention from the trainer. They want to make sure that whatever they put on that cut on his elbow stays covered. And there's a foul on Famir Ali. He bumped into David Jean-Baptiste.
That's the call Mock fans have been wanting for most of the second half there. They have been very physical with David Jean-Baptiste.
First personal foul on Famir Ali. Baptiste. The follow by Ayeni, and the rebound underneath by O.C. Smart to clear it out. Ali cut off by Banks. Phi against Ledford. Phi, the open look with one hand, missed, rebound, tapped to Baptiste.
Solid defensive stand there for Chattanooga.
Smith. And David Jean-Baptiste will now back it out. Chattanooga will try to set it up. Under 7.5 to go. Mock's down by 4. Five to shoot. Smith, too hard off the back of the rim. Rebound tipped out by Ledford, and Baptiste saves it. Ledford, open look, rims out. Gets it again. Here's Baptiste from 3. This won't go. And again, it's O.C. Smart with a rebound underneath. Smart at 6'8", just able to muscle it up. Here's Underwood. Demetrius Underwood with a 2-pointer. And the former Division III All-American puts the College of Charleston back in front by 6 at 55-49. Stolen away. Underwood pops it out from behind, and he'll throw it down.
Wow.
The lead goes to 8, 57-49.
Chris, that's something they saw on tape. They've been very aggressive when the Chattanooga guards have the ball in that particular spot on the floor by themselves. They go right at them.
Baptiste rattles and drops.
A 6 run, and that has turned this game upside down. They now lead it by 5, and the Mocs ice cold from the field.
It was a 20-0 run by College of Charleston in this second half. They put the Cougars back in front. Mocs led by as many as 14 early in the half.
And how about John Meeks? Outside shots difficult. He just posts up down low and gets it done for the Cougars.
Meeks has 12. DeSosa around the rim, and he draws the foul from O.C. Smart.
May have gotten away with a little bit of a travel there, but he's going to the line just the same.
Make it 16. It's a 6-point lead, but the way College of Charleston has been able to control things here over the last 10 or so minutes, Craig, it feels like this lead is a lot bigger than now just 5 points.
They just are in total control on both sides of the floor, but their offense is functioning at a very high level right now.
Meeks Gets Sosa up in the air, can't finish, gets his own rebound and loses it. Chattanooga will try to slow it down a little bit. Rain Smith out on David Jean-Baptiste. Ledford to Baptiste, open look, got it. 2-point game now, 57-59. Baptiste has 18 to lead Chattanooga. Underwood lost it, tipped out, Banks. Chattanooga tried to call for the timeout. David Jean-Baptiste motioning for the timeout. Possession arrow pointing in favor of Charleston.
Great hustle just the same, just some tough luck there.
Oh, the Chattanooga crowd not at all happy.
No.
Underwood will put it in play. Underwood, nice job to Lampton. And the lead goes to 4 with under 3.5 left for the College of Charleston. Smith. This one rims out. College of Charleston motioning. Chattanooga had touched it last.
Boy, DeSosa really active that time inside. Solid defense by Chattanooga that time, Chris.
Well, that matchup between Lampton and DeSosa has been a good one underneath. Baptiste lost it. Rain has it ahead to Ali. The drop back to Smith, and Rain Smith finishes.
Yet again, another turnover at the guard spot for Chattanooga here in the second half.
Turnover number 16 for the Mocs. And the foul called on Lampton. That will be his first.
His first, team 6.
And O.C. Smart back in as Lampton comes out.
Osinachi Smart. Cougars foul on 33. Osinachi Smart. His 5th. And he is
O.C. Smart called with a foul. That will be his 5th. And he will have to check out. The senior from Nigeria started every game last year here at the College of Charleston. Had an older brother that played at Wake Forest. But he is done for the day with number 5. And Lampton will have to come back in. And it's the Sosa at the free throw line for the Mocs.
And if you're Chattanooga, Chris, can you clamp down, can you close the lid here on this final 2:28 and turn things around? That's the task at hand.
A lot of that's got to start with protecting the basketball.
Yes.
(64-60) DeSosa with 19 today.
Babacar 5.
The steal by Banks. Banks going one-on-one against Ali, and the dunk.
Wow.
Darius Banks with 11. Underwood to Lampton, and a travel. Lampton will turn it over.
Boy, you thought Lampton might double set up for a jam there. Instead, it ends up being a turnover, and what a play here by Banks. The steal coast to coast and the one-hander flush.
Chattanooga with a chance to tie it or take the lead. Less than 2 minutes to go. Smith, the floater, the miss, the tip, good. Silvio De Sosa. De Sosa with the tip, and we've got a tie game at 6. In his first year directing the Cougars, and they will draw it up here in the half court. Under a minute and a half left. Ali. Cross court, Rain Smith. Baseline floater. Good. College of Charleston back in front by 2, 66-64. Just over a minute left.
2 points, Rain Smith.
Rain Smith has 18.
1 minute to go. 1 minute remaining in the game. 1 minute.
Banks from 3, short. Meeks with a big rebound off the floor. Under a minute left now. Six on the shot clock for Ali. Goes baseline against De Sosa, has it blocked. Chattanooga with a chance to tie. There's a foul, it'll go on Meeks. Meeks went after the ball, he collides with Banks.
His third, team 7.
There you see there, Meeks colliding with Banks, and Banks got the worst of that one.
Banks just now getting to his feet. And Darius Banks will have to shake this one off.
At the line for Chattanooga, number 5, Darius Banks.
Banks today 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He's 8 of 12 on the season. And he goes to the line here after being shaken up on the collision with John Meeks. And De Sosa will come out and do a little housekeeping. That's a team player.
That is.
That's a team
That's
player.
versatility.
That is. Caldwell. And here comes Ali up the floor. They get into the front after his team had broke the huddle for some final instructions. Ali to inbound. Meeks has it. Meeks. Meeks for the win. The tip. College of Charleston wins with 1.7 seconds left. College of Charleston in front. The tip in, I believe it was Underwood that tipped it in.
and just take the floor himself.
He is a fiery guy, that's for sure. There's Malachi Smith. Chattanooga will try to set it up here. David Jean-Baptiste will inbound. And the Mocs will try to get off a final shot to tie it or win it. 1.7 left.
Lampton on the ball here.
Just a long throw by Baptiste. De Sosa has it taken away by Underwood. And